Hey guys, welcome back to Puck Talk. Today we will be discussing the New Jersey Devils and how they've been doing as a team. So let's just get right into it.
Yeah. So we got the New Jersey Devils up, and we're gonna discuss a few categories for them, like usual. And so let's start with the stats first. Let's just discuss their stats a bit.
For sure.
Let's start with the forwards or the skaters, I guess. Number
Jack
one, Jack.
Hughes
He's so
popping
good.
off. He is playing amazing.
I'm not afraid to admit I thought back in the days of the 2019 draft I thought Kako would be better, but I'm clearly wrong. This kid is amazing.
Jack
Like
Hughes
Yeah.
is
he's
great.
You look at the top five scorers: this Hughes, Brat, Hamilton, who's kind of old, Heischer, and Mercer. Like, how young is that top five scoring list?
They're
They
so
should get
young
better.
that I'm pretty sure that average out to like 23 to 24, unless Hamilton's so old that it boosts up to like 25.
Hamilton's like 29, I
Yeah,
believe. So
Hamilton's pretty old.
Oh my
But like
goodness.
the rest of them are really young.
yeah,
It's crazy.
Hamilton is doing much better this year than he was last year. I gotta say that. Like, I think he's a point per game, right?
But yeah, he is 51. Yeah, he's exactly a point per game. And this was a long time coming for the Devils, though. I think there were like two seasons where people were like, this is their year, this is their year.
Yeah.
And now that they are gonna make the playoffs, they're gonna make it like big time, you know? Like
Yeah.
they just jump straight
They
from
are
like out of
such a good team.
they went
They're
from out of
fun
playoffs
and
to third
exciting
in the
and
league.
young.
Yeah. I don't know how they jumped that quickly. I
It's
remember the
because they got
chances.
because they got solid goaltending. Like
Yeah.
Mhm.
New Jersey reminds me of those teams you do in franchise mode where you build a good roster and like year after year they kind of fall short and then that one year they just explode. So like I think their roster was already there, like the pieces were there. This year they just decided to pick it up and put it together in like the right combination.
To think that fans were booing their head coach at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, they didn't start off too hot, but they
Yeah.
picked it up. They had like a what 20 game win streak.
Yeah, something like that, dude. They
Crazy.
just
I
had like
don't They had a
the
good record.
they just had an amazing win streak,
The
and out of
Maple
nowhere
Leafs
they
ended
bumped
that,
up
by
to
the
like
way.
third in the league or something.
Yeah, I think the Devils are an exciting. They're like one of the most exciting teams to watch too. Like, I'm not a Devils fan, but I enjoy watching their games.
Yeah, I only like really I like Jesper Bratt. I like Jack Hughes. I
Yeah,
like Dougie Hamilton. Those three guys are like the top three players for to watch on that team.
yeah.
Mm.
So let's just do we need to discuss the goalies? Really, they're good.
They're
Black
Vanacek is doing really well this season.
Blackwood is okay. I'm surprised.
For
his
your backup for a 3.0 on a 90 is like good as your backup.
Yeah, I thought
I
that
think
since they're doing so well, he'd be doing better.
Blackwood was supposed to be their starter.
Yeah.
Like when he started out, like he was pretty good. Like yeah, like a 9-1-2 first season with the Devils, and they still couldn't put anything to get to in front of him. And he just never did anything after that. Like right
Yeah.
now, he's really injury prone. He really cannot like string together those games together, and that's why he's been demoted to a backup, which is unfortunate to see. Like he had loads and loads of potential, in my opinion.
And Vanacek took the opportunity and
Vanacek
ran
took
with
to,
it.
yeah, no, exactly. Took the
Isn't it
opportunity,
like
stepped
it's
up.
it's crazy? Like both former Washington goalies, like the
Yeah.
Washington goalie tandem, Vanacek and Samsonov, they are both popping off this year. Like they are doing really well for themselves. And Washington just signed a really expensive starter in Kemper when they had like the talent right there. I think that was a mistake on their part.
It makes you wonder what they were doing, like their goalie coach or their system that just wasn't working, making
Yeah,
like two goalies look horrible.
exactly. Like it should have like yeah, like that was like not very good on their part.
Yeah. Yeah, now that it just blew up in their faces, like they pretty much let them go for nothing or like
Yeah.
pennies.
Mhm.
Like Vanacek was traded for like not like nothing, and like Samsonov was not qualified as an RFA, so like he signed as a UFA. So yeah, not
Yeah,
very good asset management, that's for sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
but right. Well, look what it pays off for the New Jersey. They had their starters a 2.3 on a 91.
Yeah, so they're doing good.
yeah.
It also helps that their defense has been rock solid this year. Damon Severson, Dougie Hamilton, John Marino.
Siegenthaler, that guy's good defensive D man.
Siegenthaler is like a top like five defensive defenseman. Like
Yeah.
they got John Marino pretty cheap for the Penguins, and their team is just is ready to take that step.
Yeah. It's deep. It's really deep too. They have like 4 lines that can score.
Yeah, like the
Mhm.
Palat free agency signing. While he was injured, that was one of the best signings in my opinion last season. He's a good secondary scorer. They
Yeah.
don't really need to trade for anybody this
Yeah.
deadline. Like they're set.
You saw what Palat did with Point and Kucherov. I think he can complement Hughes and Brad like that too.
Yeah, easily. Like
Yeah.
Palat is like he's a clutch type of player. Like I think like he scored on almost every game 7 last year that he played in. So
Yeah.
he's Mr. Game 7. So yeah, why not? Throw everything at him.
I was so sad to see him leave. But yeah. So let's move on to our categories now. So who do we think the best player is? This is kind of easy.
Yeah,
Jack
Jackie.
Hughes.
He's
Yeah.
on a 60 goal pace, 115 point pace or something like that. Like
Yeah.
there's no debate. Like this guy is amazing.
Yeah. I think he's like one of the best transitional players that's the
Yeah.
stat in the league.
Like he can move the puck up the ice and he can hold the puck there for a long time. And that's what his success comes from. Like he reminds me of a better Johnny Gaudreau. Like that's
Ooh.
good the type of player he is.
A better Johnny Gaudreau. He's
I mean,
one.
Gaudreau, like he doesn't put up these numbers every year. I think Jack Hughes can put up 100 plus points back to back to back.
Yeah. I think he's. This is just. I think he's just getting started.
Yeah. I mean, last year he was on pace to do it. He got injured, unfortunately, so we weren't able to see him do that. But this year, he's injured, but he's fine. He's doing well.
Yeah. So the next category is the status. Do we say cup contenders?
The
I
East
say
is
content.
scary.
I
We
think that
will say this right now. The East is so scary that
Yeah.
honestly, every team that's gonna be in the playoffs on the East is a cup contender. They are all of them are literal cup favorites. And
Yeah.
honestly, New Jersey, in my opinion, is no exception. They've been playing amazing hockey as a team, and also have like 3 really exciting players overall.
Yeah, they're
Uh,
third in the league.
in my opinion, like I don't really like giving like they can be cup contenders, but the teams in the East that I really only consider cup contenders are Boston for obvious reasons and Tampa Bay because of their experience. And Boston's just crazy. Like they also have good experience. Other than that, I think these teams they're contenders. Like
Yeah.
they have the chance to pull off the upset, but there are clear favorites. Like I think this Tampa team is the worst it's been since like it's the dynasty basically started, but they're
Yeah.
still very good. So like while they're not like built as like cup contender. I think like their reputation precedes them, and they deserve that with all they've accomplished in the past.
Yeah, I think I'd agree more with contenders because I don't see them. The East is rough,
Yeah,
Maybe if they're in the West, I'd say cup contenders, but right now I doubt they make it to the third round even. Because just of
yeah,
how stacked the East is. Because it's an inexperienced team.
yeah.
It's just a matter of like, will any team really in that Eastern Conference pull off the upset?
I don't think them getting out would be an upset though. I
Yeah,
think
I
if it
mean,
was yeah.
In terms of the playoffs, though, I mean,
I think if it was like a them versus Rangers, I'd expect Rangers to win. Or if it was them versus Boston at some point, I'd easily. I don't think I'd really ever favor them out of the East.
I would pick the Devils over the Rangers though. Like in my
You
opinion,
would?
yeah.
like even with Tarasenko, like their defense is still not that great. I think the Devils' defense is much better, and their goaltending is like not better, but I think I
Shesterkin's
think
not playing as well as he did last
yeah,
season. That's
that's what I think. Like just Durkin, he was crazy last year, but like he won't carry that decor that much longer in the playoffs. And obviously last year they faced like backup goaltenders through a string of miracles, and this year I don't think they'll be getting that luck.
Okay. So let's see. So do we agree on contenders or cup contenders? That's it.
Uh,
I vote for contenders.
yeah, me too.
I'll go for
Contenders.
contenders as well then.
Okay, so we're good then. And then where they will finish. So this is kind of discussion we were having. Where do we see them making it in the playoffs?
Second round
Second
exits.
round.
Yeah, I think that seems about right. I think they'll get their 1 round experience and then their inexperience will show at that point.
Yeah. I think like unless Boston is taken out in some crazy upset, like biggest upset of the century, um, yeah, I think they're done for
I don't think
because
it's that. I don't think it's out of question for Boston to get out. We saw what happened to Tampa that 1 year.
Yeah.
We can the thing about the Devils, I think they are capable of pulling off an upset in in the second round. It's just that out of each think about the matchup, think about the matches they could possibly have in that second round. It's not looking too good for them.
Like their best possible matchup is I believe Washington if they somehow beat Bruins. The other choice is the Bruins, and that's about it. Because Bruins is gonna face the second wild card in the East, and that's Capitals, and both wild cards are, I'm with Metro teams, so it's gonna be tough for them to accomplish something when all the teams in the East are powerhouses.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So then our next category is deadline trade they could make. Like you said, I don't think they need to add much at the deadline, to be honest.
Yeah,
they don't really need much. They have this strong, cohesive team, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're good. They're settled. They can sit and watch it unfold because they don't really need to move anybody at this point.
Yeah, I think it's a quiet deadline for them too. And then panic level. I don't think there's any on their team.
New Jersey fans are popping off right now. They're excited. They're top 3 in the league in terms of the regular season. They're making the playoffs. They're excited.
Yeah, they're chilling. They're talking about their young core and their amazing team. So they're having fun.
Yeah, they just came out of rebuild and are contenders almost immediately.
Yeah,
it's rough. It's hard to do that. LA came out, but they're kind of getting by, just barely getting by. When New Jersey's just demolishing teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think if you guys don't have anything else to add now, I think that's it for this episode.
The only thing that I will add is that I am now biased. I hope New Jersey wins the cup.
Yeah,
I'm biased now. But the Canucks aren't gonna do anything. I'm going for the Devils this season. The rest of the season, I'm going for the Devils. I hope Devils face the Maple Leafs and Tampa Bay somehow in the same playoffs and beat them.
I don't think that's gonna happen, but
it's not gonna happen.
No,
but a man can dream, a man can hope.
I just want a Canadian team to win the cup, honestly.
Edmonton's the best chance, or Leafs.
No. Anybody.
Edmonton or Leafs.
Edmonton or Leafs, that's it. There's nobody else.
Leafs get eliminated once
Jets
again
can do
in the first
it.
round.
Jets can do it for sure.
I don't believe in Jets at all.
Connor Hellebuyck can take over a series. I think
that's true.
I think they have a solid chance. I think those are the only teams that are Canadian that are making the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. There are a lot of Canadian competition this year, unfortunately.
Yeah. Vancouver and Ottawa could have done something, but barely got it in. If they decided to get their act together.
And Calgary is just, a tire fire.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, bye, guys.